Today's video, I wanted to do a deeper dive into a recent series I completed, which was a 12-bird series. The idea was to paint a bird for each month of the year. And after completing it, there was some additional thoughts I had that I want to share with you. Number one, the positioning of the birds mattered more than I thought. This was actually kind of surprising, as after doing the 12, I noticed that the birds that were off-centered were more engaging to me than the ones that were just dead center in the page. So I realized by putting them off-center was a more engaging picture to me of the viewer. Number two was a limited palette hit harder. What I mean by that is I thought originally that the more colorful birds would be more engaging to me, but it turned out that I actually enjoyed the birds that had a limited palette, where I had more shades of simply one or two colors rather than letting the bird be expressed with multiple different colors. Number three was water control created better confidence. One of the biggest skill jumps wasn't necessarily the brush work, but it was learning how much water makes the birds look alive versus overworked. So I trusted that the water to do the blending on the page and then the feathering on top of the initial wash and blending. By removing some of the layers and then adding additional layers on top of each other, that created a softness in the bird's texture that I turned around just absolutely enjoying. Number four, backgrounds can make or break the whole piece. For the backgrounds, I thought, I'll just do light washes, soft backgrounds, no big deal. Here's what happened. The simple backgrounds ended up being some of the more boring pieces. I thought if the background is more simple, then the birds will be the main focus. But having a comparison with detailed branches or leaves actually helped the focus on the birds pop on the page. Number five is the ugly phase is real. On every single painting, midway through the painting, I would look at my progress and say, blah, that doesn't look good. And it happened every time. Rather than getting discouraged and stopping at that moment, I decided work through the process, believe in the process, and the picture will definitely improve. Number six is white space matters and its magic. In watercolor, leaving the white on purpose should always be in your process. With the negative space, my birds became more real because of the deep contrast between the darks and the lights. Color temperature does more heavy lifting than color itself. What I mean by that, two shades of blue can tell a totally different story depending on whether they lean warm or to the cool side. And the best birds in the series weren't the most colorful, but they did have the best temperature balance, meaning the warm shadows made the birds feel sunlit and the cool shadows made them feel more calm or mysterious. It's mood building in the simplest way. Number eight is darkness is what improves your highlight. This one wasn't too big of a surprise for me because I've known this in the past, but the darks are what make your highlights come alive. Then the painting actually feels finished. So the birds that really jumped off the page were the ones that had this one thing in common: deep, bold, intentional darks. Number nine, the greater the contrast, the greater the interest. In comparing these two pictures, the one here on my left has more interest to me because the contrast in the shadowing and the darkness of the bird bring it more to life in comparison to the one here on my right, which has more of a neutral contrast throughout. If I was going to go back and touch up this picture, I would definitely add some deeper shadows under the bird and try to deepen the dark areas to bring highlights out, to the forefront. Number 10 from this deeper dive, and probably the greatest takeaway that I learned, is that a series created a greater amount of growth than doing a single painting alone. What I mean is that the quantity created quality better than if I only did one picture. Now, if you haven't had an opportunity, a few weeks ago was posted another video about this 12 bird series. Feel free to click the link up in one of these corners to be able to watch that as well. So those are the top 10 deeper dive things I learned by doing a 12 bird watercolor series. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you haven't had an opportunity, remember to hit that subscribe button below. That way you don't miss out on any of the new content that's coming here from Marvelous McGleston's art. And thank you so much for being a watcher. And remember, pick up those paintings, pick up those brushes, and enjoy painting.